Hello, Astro Lifers. So yes, it's Monday this time again, where I'm giving you the stars for the week. So I just hope that you all had a really nice weekend with that new moon in Pisces. We sure did. It was a healing one. It was one that was probably, the nicest and smoothest one of the year. When it's in Pisces, it's usually really about blending and emotions and feelings and yeah, so it was a beautiful one. So yes, this week we have quite a few things going on, and definitely what we're going to have is Mercury Retrograde. So a lot of people ask me how to deal with the retrograde, because it is a time that is different, obviously, and where you have to act a little bit differently than usual. So first I just want to say that on the 17th also Mars, the warrior, the planet of strength, moved into Capricorn. It left Sagittarius and it went into Capricorn, and that's going to be the case until the 15th of May. So earth signs, you should get a boost of energy. It should make you feel stronger, and things are going to be quite also strong in the way things needs to be done. Capricorn is very organized and it's settled and it's long term, so that's going to be a focus for a lot of people to make things more stable in that kind of sense. Now, yes, on the 22nd we are going to be having Mercury Retrograde, and it's not done for nothing. So a lot of people say, well, that period of time is very annoying, things are slowing down and it's not working the way I want them to work, and why does the universe do that? And there is a reason, obviously. The universe, in fact, is a lot more organized than us. We've got, plannings. We want to do things at a certain time, but human nature wouldn't slow down and wouldn't stop. And, we wouldn't ask ourselves the questions, am I on the right track? Am I doing the right thing? Who am I? Or what do I need to do? And, human nature, if everything is going fine, we just keep on moving. We're like, yeah, no, we're on a roll. We're going to keep on going, and we don't want to reassess or to ask ourselves all these questions, and or take the time maybe even to clean up and go through all our paperwork and put things in order. Well, that's what Mercury is here for. So the universe says, no, you've been forwards long enough. Now we're all going to slow down, and we're all going to analyze everything and make sure that we've answered all our questions, that we know exactly that we are on the right track, and reassess everything. So yes, anything to do with RE, reassess, reorganize, all that is what you do when there is a retrograde. So yes, so that's why it's going to slow down, and that's going to be the case between the 22nd of March to the 15th of April. So that's a period where it's actually going to slow down. So if there are things like that, do not get frustrated. If it's not working as fast as you want, don't get frustrated. So I'm just going to explain a little bit what is a retrograde, because a lot of people ask me, okay, does the planet really go backwards? No, it doesn't. In fact, it slows down, and because we keep on moving ourselves, we actually have the feeling we see it going backwards, but really technically it's like if you were driving in a car, and you are moving forwards, and then you see the car that it's actually slowing down and not driving at the same speed as you were going. So in fact you have the feeling that it is actually going backwards, but in fact it's just slowing down. It's not completely going backwards. The planet doesn't completely go backwards. It's just an optic illusion, but everything that it touches, obviously, that slow down, is going to be not working as well. We say as astrologists that what happens in the sky happens down below. So this is how we see it, and that's what we say, that whatever the effects that you have with the stars and the planets is what's going to happen with that. So what is it going to touch? What does Mercury touches? Well, it touches communication. So if any of you are not understanding someone, or if you heard something that was, even hurting you, or just explain it, or just ask the person to explain it, and just understand that there are going to be some miscommunication, misunderstanding. That's what it does. People are not really seeing clearly, and they don't really understand what the other person meant necessarily. So that is a time where you don't want to do the big communication or start, trying to sort things out moving forwards. You just kind of try to understand each other and try to deal with the things that you've already talked about, and try to finish it off. And if there is a misunderstanding, just be very open-minded that will happen. And so you just want to make things clear, and give a bit more credit to the others, because it can be just because of that aspect in the stars. Now, it also is linked with contracts. So if you do have to sign a contract because you don't have the choice, you double check, you triple check, take your lawyer if you want to buy a house to read everything twice instead of once, that's when you really want to check everything else. So yes, last week I said, do not sign, but until the full retrograde, you actually want to slow down. That's actually what I meant last week. But definitely, from the 22nd, you will want to avoid signing anything new. It's just because we don't see things clearly. We are not completely objective, because things are not moving in a forward motion. So you try to avoid. If you cannot read and reread, like triple read your contracts, or make them checked, by a lawyer, just to make sure there's no mistakes. But even a lawyer can make mistakes. I've seen that as well. So because they are human, like everyone else. So just ask them to read it twice, or yourself read it twice. Now, it's also going to affect electronics. I've got quite a funny story about that, is that my fridge, each time it's going to be retrograde, my fridge starts making some noise, and which is very annoying. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to change my fridge. And as soon as the retrograde stops, the fridge stops making some noise. So very, very funny. But anyway, look, if your computer breaks down, if you've got problems with your car, if some things like that happen, that's normal. Now, don't be surprised. And definitely, it's not a time to buy something new. I wouldn't buy a computer. I wouldn't buy anything that is electronic during that time. You will have problems with them. They will just not work like normal. So try to avoid that. Transports. It actually also rules transport. So I usually try to say to people, do not travel if you can avoid it during Mercury retrograde. That's when you are going to have all these planes that are going to be delayed, and problems, and mechanical, and all these things. So you try to avoid it. And anyway, to go to a place that is new is going to be an issue. You're not going to really like it. You're not going to enjoy it. Even the new people that you are going to be meeting, it's not the best time either. So I usually tell my clients, well, you guys now that I do lives. So yes, I usually tell people, please do not try to avoid, it's just to make sure that there is no issues there. It's better if you can. It's only 3 weeks and the full retrograde. So sometimes you can actually, put your trip later on. So yes, so no surgeries, nothing new as well. Surgery, because it is linked with precision, you want to be precise. If you can put off all your surgeries, obviously if there is an emergency, you go. I mean, that's obvious. You don't, move over the emergency of that operation. But if you can avoid it, especially if it's things, like in beauty as well, or things like that. You don't want to change your look. You don't want to try to have a new haircut. You don't want to have a massive change during that time, because it's not the good time as well. So I would avoid completely doing that. And also it is linked, yes, with the knives. There is an effect with Mercury as well with surgery. It can be, they can be damaged. It can be not done properly. So it's always a time I say, please do not try to have a surgery or anything, you know, done that is important at that time. And so what do you do? Yeah, nothing new. And when you are in the business like we are, you know, talking to people and meeting people, what do you actually do? Well, you try to look after your old customers. That's the time you contact all your old customers and you say, look, you know, we haven't seen each other for a long time. I've moved forwards into this kind of healing or this kind of products. Do you need me? You know, do you need me to look after you? The people that you've already known from the past, or your friends, they're really going to be happy to see you. Yes, the people from the past are really going to be happy to reconnect with you. So your clients, your old clients, if you said, yes, look, you know, I'm here for you, and do you want to review your case and have a meeting and stuff like that, all these people are actually going to be really happy. So you're actually going to make your clients, your old clients, very happy. And remember, when you are in business, it's all about people. It's about looking after the others. And you are just going to be on a time where these people are actually not going to feel really good. They're going to be, oh, what's going on with me? You know, things are not moving forwards the way I want it. And yeah, you know, I'm not even expressing myself in a very good way. What's going on, you know? And just at that time, you show up and you say, look, you know, I've been thinking about you, and let's redo that session, or let's talk about the way you've been and things like that. So if you are a coach or if you are someone like that, they're actually really going to appreciate having some news from you. So reconnect, reassess, reorganize things, anything to do with RE, you know, it goes with retrograde, obviously. So that's a really good time to do that, and reorganize your house, you know, clean up, declutter, do everything to do and rest as well, because it is the time to slow down. So that's actually a time to actually look after yourself, go and pamper yourself. As I said to you before, you know, reconnect, do things like that. And after that, as soon as we will be moving forwards from the 15th of April, things are going to be moving forward. So in fact, it's done again in a really well organized way. So you can actually have this time to actually rest. And then after that, when you will be moving forwards and full speed again, you will be all re-energized and ready to tackle everything. So this is what it's done for. So anyway, so I hope that helps. If you've got any more questions, just ask me. On the 28th, next week, there's going to be some awesome aspects, a lot of luck. So that's going to be good. So I'll talk about that and some more next week, because we've got quite a few aspects coming up. But definitely this week, organize everything that I said, you know, the way I just talked about, to make sure that you live well, that Mercury Retrograde, that, remember, is done for a reason. Yes, and I shall see you next week, next Monday, and I hope you have an amazing time. Ciao, ciao, bye-bye.